What's happening? Cash Money, what's happening? Cash Money got you beat. Yes, indeed, Paris. G Money. Oh, how you guys feeling today? Oh, I'm all good. A little drained today, but I feel like I had to keep pushing. I feel drained. My blood pressure's low. So when your blood pressure's low, you be feeling real drained and stuff. But I'm all good. I'm here. Kim, what's up, family? Alina, baby girl, what's happening? Straight fire. That's right, Paris. Yes, indeed. I'm ready to deliver it. When you guys come in, make sure you guys like. I know you guys know the routine. Kahil, what's up, family? I'm a little drained, so, I'll break through this thing in a minute. Uh-huh. I'm going to bring it. New Orleans in the house. Ace, thank you for that 10, kicking it off, family. Oh, B. Myers, I appreciate that. Just trying to be used as a vessel. Do what the Most High want me to do, Make sure you guys like when you come in, family. Make sure you like the video. Chicago, Inglewood on board. Mr. Norm, blessings, all love. What's up, family? Tony Davis, one of my moderators. He keeps on top of all that. Him and Helena, Oxford, Mississippi. K-Lab, top of the world, ain't no question. Well, maybe so, but we're going to talk about it tonight. I think it's a real big issue. Somebody said, I forget the name. Somebody said we're too psychologically damaged to ever be able to come together. I understand that point, but we're going to talk about it tonight because it's necessary. Yeah. Did you guys see the video I put out there for Conversations with the Streets? It's nice. Credit to Clinton Skinner, my dude, put that thing together real nice. It's going to be my social media guy and website and all that stuff. He's on the team. Brother he's incredibly talented. Shout out to Clinton Skinner. Chris, thank you, family. That logo was nice. Chris created that logo. We might rock with that. Detroit in the house. Bronx in the building. We'll wait for a few minutes, a few more people come into the room. Texas in the house. Dialing. Oh, that's what it's out there for, to change people's lives. And that makes me feel really good that it's impacting your life. Let me just say to the 50 people in here, I always tell you guys that, good evening, who was that? Miss Lewis Denatra. Maybe I don't want to mess your name, but Denatra Lewis. Good evening, baby. Mr. Bronson, what's up? Yeah, click and share. Let people know we on. But I always want to go back to the beginning where I said I'm not into numbers. Thank you for that 10, loco. That I'm not into numbers, and it's really important to understand, you know, that the remnant is such a precious people that they alone, Mr. Pova, what's up? They alone is worthy enough for me to come and give what I can give, because it never takes a lot of people to turn the world upside down. You know what I'm saying? So I do want to talk about, is it possible for us to have black unity? It's a big subject, and the reason why I want to talk about it today is because of the speakers that we have and we will have coming across the country to be a part of Conversations with the Streets. Now, when I first, when we were reaching out to these speakers, I understand, I want you to know, I know that some people dislike somebody, you know, somebody dislike me, somebody dislike RZA, somebody dislikes Judge Joe Brown, somebody dislikes Umar Johnson, and I get it, I understand. My position is that until we can find something that we can all agree upon, then the system can constantly use our dislike of something somebody's not doing to keep us separated. You know what I'm saying? So my position when I'm dealing with people is, can I propose something that is valuable to all of us? You know, because I've even had calls and you know, messages from people around the country concerned about certain people and everything. But, you know, I'm a unifier. So, you know, my answer to people, thank you, family, for that $14.99. Mahiz, I believe it is Mahiz. Unpack your name for me so I can make sure I say it right. So what I'm saying is that unity is a very difficult thing amongst our people, is because we're taught to be so judgmental of ourselves because we don't like each other. You know, we don't like ourselves, you know, so we're always taught to have this negative connotation towards one another. But I'm a leader and I'm a unifier. So, you know, probably the hardest thing in my life to do was to actually bring law enforcement, community, and politicians together for police accountability. That was an impossible thing to achieve, damn near. But the Most High had relegated that victory to us, but we had to do the work, right? So, you know, if I can do that for an impossible situation, how is it that I'm not going to put that same work in for our own communities? If I can bring these, you know, these groups together that are primarily in some type of misunderstanding with each other, and I can get them on one accord, I'm not going to use the same genius that I use for police accountability. Too cool to con. What's up, family? For our own people, understanding that we have people that are adverse against other people and things like that. Charles, thank you. He said he loved the road to paradise. So it's my job to start doing something about it and to stop just talking about it, right? Let's put some effort in. So if you don't like RZA, Islam for whatever reason, or Judge Joe Brown, or me, Andre Taylor, or Umar Johnson, don't let that get in the way of the space that we're creating to unify. You know, you have to reach out to people that are, there's a lot of people that love all these individuals. I have major respect for all of them. You know, because remember what I learned bringing police, community, and politicians together, I learned that I don't have to agree 100% with somebody in order to build with them. So we really need to talk this out, because unless we get past this, we can't really grow as a people. And we're going to be taking Conversations with the Streets around the country. And I'm going to be inviting many people from different places. Next month is winding up to be something great, because we're going to do a conversation on the streets every month, once a month, so June 26th. And it's shaping up to be good. I talked to Mike Tyson, what was that, yesterday? and trying to see, I couldn't get them for the first one, seeing if I can get them for the second one. And I got, some powerful people coming from other places, one in New York and, and so on. And it's an impediment to change if I can't remember. I told you, if you're a leader and you can't love beyond your pain or lead beyond your pain, you shouldn't be a leader. So I don't want, what I might consider something I might agree with somebody be an impediment to me building with them. I just want you to know, as black people, you got to find something you can build with somebody with. I'm sure there's people in your life right now that you don't agree 100% with about something, right? But there's something you can build with them on. Build then. Build then. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times, I don't like telling no brothers what I think they should be doing. I let my work speak for me. I'll let the work manifest that there's different ways to operate, especially within the system. I let the work speak. I don't want to go and act like, I'm sunning somebody because they don't do things the way I do them, or, or articulate things the way I articulate things, So, there was some concern because I know Dr. Umar said some things about the LGBTQ community. And I understand that people have their feelings about this. Well, I've had the opportunity of building some great things with people out of the LGBT community that were really down. That were really, really down. I'm talking about, let me just put it out there because I always speak of her all the time. Leslie Cushman is somebody that I truly love. And, she'll tell you herself she's a 63-year-old gay white woman. But one of the most powerful social activists that I've ever seen in my life. And she was with me from the beginning. She's an attorney. And there's things we don't agree on. You know what I'm saying? But we've developed a relationship through our work. And what I'm going to say, because you are a gay female, you can't help, I can't see how I could have furthered some of the things that we were able to create with having Leslie Cushman there to educate me about the law and other little things. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to just let you know that on the surface, if you pick out the gay community and you feeling like, that's sinful, well, that's going to be the decision of the Most High. And whether I agree to that or not, I'm going to have to pick out adultery. I'm going to have to pick out a lot of things that the scripture says that is sinful. You know what I'm saying? I've just had an experience with people on a different level to give me a different understanding. I don't want to judge them for whatever activity that they're having in their lives. I don't want to be in nobody's bedroom, first of all. But the work is undeniable, just like the work of Not This Time is undeniable. People might, I'm just telling you, let me explain it to you like this. If I take that stand or that disposition, people can take that stand and disposition against me, and they have, because I come from the streets. I was pimping, you know what I'm saying? Went to federal prison. So if I take that same disposition about them, they'll never give me a chance. But I wasn't waiting for them to give me a chance. I was just going to do the work, and the work will speak for me and open the doors for me. So when I see people through the evidence of their work, I judge them according to their work, and I fall in love with them according to their work. Because people be putting their lives and careers on the line, for justice. And for me not to recognize that and pay some type of homage to that because somebody is gay, that's ridiculous. Would I just act like they didn't do all that work, put their work on the line, jobs on the line, lives on the line, on the front line? I act like that don't exist because somebody is gay? Come on, man. Come on, man. I don't operate like that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just saying that when I got the phone call today and I expressed to the people that had some concerns that I'm willing to go speak as I have great relationships with the LGBT community. I understand some of the conversations. I understand we're talking about two different things here, right? We're talking about culture, and each culture having their own experience or understanding of what they believe right and wrong is. So let me say this before I get back to what I was saying. When I first started doing police accountability, remember, we went to all these different communities, the Native community, the Latino community, Asian Pacific Islander, right? And so one thing you have to learn is cultural sensitivity. You know what I'm saying? Because each culture acts and has their own way that they maneuver. So there was a mother her name is Renee. She was killed by law enforcement in 2007, and she was having a crisis, and the police shot her in front of her kids, right? So I was telling the folks that not this time, I want to throw a fundraiser for the children. And I'm so happy that we have all different backgrounds that represent not this time, because there was a woman that was there. Her name is Minty Longearth, and she said to me, "You can't do that." I said, "Why wouldn't we want to throw a fundraiser for the kids that's left behind? Their mother's dead?" She said, "Because natives are not allowed to mention the name of a deceased loved one for a year," and I didn't know that, right? So I would have thought I was doing something good and genuine, but I would have been offensive to this culture, to the native culture. So that's where you have to come in when you're trying to build something, and when you're trying to lead, you have to have some, cultural sensitivity. You have to put people around you that can educate you and teach you, so you won't be offensive when you're trying to build movements together. Now I'm educating you guys because a lot of you are trying to build grassroots movements right now. So I'm just trying to give you some information and how you can begin to start so that you won't start with mistakes, right? So when you're engaging people, you want to listen and you want to learn about how their culture acts or reacts to certain things within their culture, that we might act or react a different kind of way, right? So in the black culture, on the most part, it is a religious culture from the church, from Christianity. And so in Christianity, there's things spoken that saying certain things were not pleasing to the Most High. So after being socialized into that understanding, for generations, of saying certain things like adultery and fornication and homosexuality. So, there's a culture that has existed for a very long time under Christianity that people feel this way, and not just black culture, but a lot of white evangelicals as well, or most of them, see? So I have to be willing to sit down with like the LGBT community and express to them why you might see some of our people apprehensive about homosexuality, because of the conditioning of Christianity over certain amounts of years. You know what I'm saying? But if you can sit down and have a conversation with people and allow people to understand from your perspective that this is not necessarily personal, but this community has been conditioned in this thought process about several things, not just homosexuality, but about several things. And that just happens to be one of them, right? So, and a lot of people are growing and allowing people to be who they are, because you can't really be the judge of nobody else's life. If you're going to be hard on homosexuality, you got to be equally hard on premarital sex, or equally hard on anything else that Christianity has told you that is not right. You can't pinpoint one thing, right? So I understand, because I had some experiences in the Christian church that formulated a lot of my thought in the beginning, right? But when I start having some type of interactions with other people outside of the Christian church, my mind began to expand, and I begin to understand in a different capacity, right? That I don't have to agree with everybody. See, the Christian church, you is a feeling like if you're doing these things, then you're ostracized and we don't want to deal with you, right? That's not progressive. That's not progressive. What's progressive is saying, listen, you don't agree with everything that I've been through and what I've done, but we can build here. You know what I'm saying? But that's progressive conversation. Let's find something that we can build on. I'm not gonna go out of my way to attack you because you happen to be, a homosexual, and you feel like you were born that way. If you're gay, right? There's people in my organization that are gay that I love, Do you understand? Because the work. Because I was able to see myself, and so I didn't put them in this little box that these people are gay, so they should be like this or act like this or whatever. They're not in no box to me. They are people, real people. You know what I'm saying? And I embrace them and I love them. I don't have to agree with everything. I'm not talking about just what they feel they were born into. I'm talking about I don't have to agree on political issues with them. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to believe in anything in order for me to, I can say, okay, well, me and you, we're going to disagree to agree or agree to disagree. Right? So that's not just religious stuff. That's political stuff as well. Or some other social stuff that is going on. You can always find something that that you can have a disagreement with somebody. Right? But you'll never be a unifier. You'll never be a unifier. When I think about where I come from, right, and I know that, you know, people never give me a chance, so it makes me feel a lot, not just sensitive, but aware. You know what I'm saying? Because people would never give me a chance. You know, I mean, when I was going through this, people were, you know, there was a lot of talk about where I come from and what I did. By law enforcement and other people, you know, people would try to do a hit job on me through the media, you know, about what I was doing and lying, really, because they didn't even have the story straight. But this is why I told you guys a long time ago to tell your story before your enemy does. Right? So that way your story is so told and so recognizable that when somebody tries to do something, the community or people around the country say, man, we've been knowing that for 20 years. We know where Dre come from. We know what, but the most importantly, we know what he overcame. You know? So black unity is doable if you stop judging people based on their ideology. Because there is something in all of us, even though we might have different ideologies, that we can agree upon. And rush to have an agreement there. Rush to have an agreement there. We're talking about, is it possible for the black community to unify? And I'm talking about creating movements, grassroots movements, and how to, you know, get people on board. You know? So, even I had a situation where somebody in my organization felt like there were certain conversations that were supposed to be had that white folks shouldn't be a part of. And I understood where they were coming from. But I was telling them, excuse me, these white folks gonna be in the room. Because these white folks collected more signatures, well, not just them, but I'm saying more signatures and volunteer signatures than anybody in the state. These white folks were with me for years, being on them streets, getting the word out, doing the work, volunteering. I seen it, whether it was raining or whatever. These white folks was there. You know, these white folks believed in me when my own people didn't believe in me. So whatever you're talking about, they shouldn't be in certain conversations. I get what you're saying. I understand what you're saying. But they've worked to be whatever I want them to be. Their work allowed them to be in the conversation. Their work allowed them to be at the table. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not going to look at their work and somehow diminish them because they are white. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm talking about how I brought it forth. What was my mindset and what attracted people to the way I maneuvered? I'm going to give credit to where credit is. If you're black, brown, blue, gray, whatever. You telling me because they're white, you overlooking all the work that they put in on the front line, wanting to be. You know what I'm saying? You want me to overlook that work and then minimize them based upon the color of their skin. Not me. That's not who I am. I'm a leader, for real, of all people. I lead all people. And the way I function, if you want to lead all people, you're going to have to function the same way. Because remember I told you, there is this idea in our community from some of our leaders, and I understand it too, that we are only specifically concerned about black people. Somehow, like, we don't have the genius to be able to lead all people. And I'm saying that, have you ever seen any empire think like that? When they came on the scene, and if an empire was conquering lands and people, they felt that they can rule and lead all people. I'm not a person that just feel that my information is limited to just black people. I have the genius to lead all people. And I'm just telling you that regardless of whoever haven't been fair to you, you got to reflect out the greatness of who you are, because you're going to be fair in the face of other people that they haven't been fair. Right? And you're going to operate with integrity and character. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when that person was telling me that, white people shouldn't be in the room when certain things are discussed, this is what I told him. I said, you know another reason how we were successful? Now listen, if you want to build movements. It's because there's been this idea in the black community that we can keep things secretive. We can hide something from the system. And every time you get to thinking that way, the system always finds out by slipping informants in our organizations. So you invest so much money in thinking you invest so much energy in thinking you're hiding something from the system, where the system ultimately, has that information. So I did the opposite. From the beginning, I knew what I was going to do. I was going to be transparent. My meetings was going to be open. I was going to be transparent in my conversation. What I would talk in front of you, I could talk in front of anybody else. Right? If I felt a certain kind of way, what's up, honey? I see you on here. If I felt a certain kind of way, I was going to be able to talk that way in public and talk that way in private. Because I don't have any delusions as if somehow the system can't know everything that I'm doing. That's not a strength of mine for them not knowing what I'm doing. I want you to know exactly what I'm doing. Because what I'm doing is living up to the mission that was given me. And I want to let you know what that looks like and what's that going to be. What that's going to be. And so I want to let you know that you won't have the strength anymore, and your power will not be based upon your ability to infiltrate me, because I don't have anything to hide. As a matter of fact, I'm going to make sure everything is open and transparent. They never have found the mechanisms of dealing with something like that. I believe now the system is trying to recalibrate to deal with my transparency. Remember, tell your story before your enemy does. So I took that concept and start doing that in general. You know what I'm saying? So there's no energy in we got to hide this, and this is only between us and all that. That's foolishness. Just look at history. You'll see. Povo, thank you for that 20. Kevin, thank you for that 20. You will see that that's not been successful. So I switched it around. And I said, I'm going to put it right in your face. I'm going to talk about it so much, you're going to be tired. Oh, I wish this boy would stop talking about all this stuff. Give us something to try to find out on our own. No, I'm going to let you know ahead of time. And what that did is that took away one of their greatest powers. You know what I'm saying? So to this day, I'm very transparent. Whether I'm on the telephone, having a conversation, I'm very transparent. Because I don't want them to think that, somehow there's something that I'm hiding and we're about to do that you don't know. No, you're going to know everything that I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you ahead of time. That's how confident I am in the mission that I've been given and the ability of the Most High to manifest those things. This is a new day and age, right? So that transparency, like when I was talking to that person and saying these white folks shouldn't be in certain conversations, and I'm telling they've been in all our conversations for 400 years. The system been, Monty, thank you for that 20. They've been in every one of our conversations, whether you was the Black Panthers, whether you was Muslims or whatever. There's been infiltration. That's their specialty, infiltration. Right? So I don't want to set myself up to thinking, we're going to do all this over there, and then you make a plan based upon your thoughts that nobody knows. You make a plan based upon your thoughts that nobody knows, and they already know. Right? And so whatever that plan was, is null and void. Right? I'm just telling you it works. Transparency works. And like I said, let me just say, brothers, I know some of you out there feel like you know, that there's a possibility that somehow you could keep things to yourself. I don't believe it. I just don't believe it, right? Somebody gonna say something or something. The technology is to an extent that it's almost impossible. If the United States government can be listened over in Germany on Angela Merkel's phone calls, right? The leader of Germany, and all these other countries' phone calls. You over here in the United States in your own country, when they're tapping people's lines in other countries that have security for them not to do it. Transparency is the most powerful tool that I've ever used. The most powerful, right? I'm kind of give you some information to tell you how to build, right? And how to make yourself impenetrable. Transparency is the way, right? So when you sitting down with different groups, because there were some situations that happened along the way because of a lack of understanding when we're dealing with all these different communities, right? Different cultures, right? You got to sit down with, because a lot of them don't operate with that transparency. You understand? A lot of them do not operate with that transparency. So to get the buy-in from these different groups, there was work I had to put forward first. Now listen. The most important thing to keep you playing from a position of strength and not a position of weakness, Bobby, thank you for that 25, is making sure that your focus becomes doing the work, which is the motto of Not This Time. Do the work. Now remember I told you guys before, when I first came back to Seattle, I had a lot of pushback from the black community here. They didn't want to support what I was doing because it was unconventional, and I had the kind of mind that I'm expressing to you now. And they were locked into a different way of operating, right? So I wasn't going to operate like that. My brother's killed, and I ain't seen nothing happen with nobody else out here being killed. So there's no way I can get behind what you're doing, you know. Plus, I've been operating on a national platform already, you know, and I have certain information that I believe I could utilize to put some things in order. You understand what I'm saying? So the main reason is they didn't want white allies, because in the past, I understand, white organizations will take over grassroots organizations and then try to run it. And so they didn't want that, right? But I knew it wasn't going to happen this time. I knew, because I knew what I was going to put down. It was an information and knowledge that these high-powered white organizations didn't have. And I didn't want to sell that to nobody just by talking to them about it. I don't want to go tell people, yeah, I got something, man, that we're going to blow up. It's going to change things. That's not me. I'm not going to do that. Because I'm expecting, if you do that, you're expecting somebody to grab a hold of your vision, and the Most High or fate or whatever gave you the vision to understand. He gave it to you, and maybe not one person might not believe in you, but you got to do something. So my mindset was to go do the work, because I knew once I start doing the work and it start manifesting change, then all these people that were opposed to what I was doing or the way that I was doing it would ultimately have to come on board, because the work, not because of me no more, right? There's a saying in the Bible that Christ said, if you don't believe me, believe the work. So the work had to be the prominent focal point, because I knew the work would go before me and illuminate people. So no matter what their judgment were, this guy was a pimp, this guy was this guy was that, because that's what the judgments were, even in my own community, right? As if I could not outgrow that, you know, as if Malcolm wasn't a pimp in his day. Malcolm X was dirty red, and then he grew above that, right, and became a statesman, the Malcolm X. As if it's not possible in our communities to overcome where you've been, to overcome the streets. But we have a history in our community of people overcoming adverse situations. But they don't want to give me that, right? So, but that work that we put down, that work will change anybody's mind. And it did. After a while of producing the work and the evidence of the work, law enforcement, politicians, community all communities came on board. Because I created a space that did not exist, right? When I created Not This Time, I was going to fight for my brother with what I have been given, the information and knowledge that I have. And then, as I was fighting for my brothers, I opened it up to other families because I said, I know what my family went through when my brother died. We didn't have nobody to turn to. We were traumatized. We were fighting each other. We just didn't know what to do. And so I was saying, another family in my reach will never have to go through that again if I could help it. So Not This Time was created. So when a family suffered the same thing my family suffered with the death of my brother Shay Taylor, then we were positioned to put a legal team around them and put support around them from other families that have gone through what they're going through, and told them to grieve, because it's almost impossible trying to grieve and fight at the same time. We tried to do that, right? So we got them covered, and then we told them, when you're ready to fight, we'll have that platform for you. So when we have all these families, 7, 8, 9, 10 families, from every demographic of life, every background, white, black, Asian, Mexican, Native, and we put those families' voices at the forefront, and those families that had experienced that police use of deadly force represented each community. So the white community was attached to the stories that's coming from white people, and so on. And so it didn't become just about black people, right? What happened after that is that we built this coalition because what we were talking about was affecting everybody. And it's hard to beat everybody, right? And then we educated the community every day, right? There was an educational process that had to be brought forth so that when somebody is educated about the law and then what they can do about the law, what they do is they begin to make it theirs. They become personally accountable for what they've learned, right? And then they activists are created. They take personal accountability of it, right? It becomes theirs. They're personally vested in the work. So what I'm saying to you is the way we maneuver with police accountability, like I'm explaining to you, it is necessary for us to maneuver with our community to bring that unity in. But you got to have that mind I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? You got to be a big thinker. Because if you're limited in your thought, you will get in the way. And then you will not be able to love beyond your pain, which is one of the key elements of black unity, because dealing with our people, with our trauma, we have an ability to kind of launch out at people based upon our trauma. You know what I'm saying? And if you're not a leader and understanding where that comes from, then you are going to be in the way because you're going to react and you're not going to respond. So right now we have a lot of people that have a reaction because some of us launch out on that trauma, even some of our leaders. You know what I'm saying? But in order for us to achieve that black unity, we're going to have that kind of mind. To say, yeah, I don't necessarily agree with bruh about this particular thing, but I've heard some powerful things that he's said. So what that does, it doesn't allow you to discount him totally. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to teach you the steps that we're going to have to take to try to build this thing. Again, you might hear one of the people that are doing some powerful stuff around the country, and you might hear one thing, this is how our community is, that you don't agree with, and you just shut down on him altogether. Right? You just discount him altogether. And that's a learned behavior. You know what I'm saying? But you can hear a politician, that you might want to support. They might say something and you'll still support them. It's going to take more than one or two things it should take more than one or two things for you to discount somebody. It just should. To me, it's a very fragile place to be, and it shows something about who we are. Because a person can say something we disagree with, and that's it. Again, we don't have to agree with somebody 100% of the time in order for us to build with them. Do you understand? Build with them. Now, let me tell you, there's 121 people in here. The reason why that's significant is because um, a lot of times being educated or taking the time to go through things in steps and strategies, if it's not induced with some type of entertainment, sometimes we lose people's ability to stay focused. Do you understand? And I don't want you to be discouraged because that's just what we're living in right now. Everybody was not a king in our culture. We might say it, but the truth is everybody was not a king. This is why I always speak to you, the remnant, right? Because the information sits well with a person that is really encouraged about not only changing his life, but being impactful to his community, right? Kings and queens hear things different than the rest of the lay people in the culture. That doesn't denigrate the lay people in the culture, but I'm just telling you that everybody is not a leader. Everybody wasn't a king or a queen in Africa, right? There were select people. There were a remnant of people. So I don't want you to be discouraged. I want you to understand that everybody can't hear for this particular time these particular things that I'm talking about. They're not interested in it, right? Because they don't have the space within them to occupy that leadership space inside of them. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you be encouraged, because if you still come and you get this in, that's because there is a leadership, a kingship, and a queenship inside of you that relates to the information, because not only do you want to change your life, you feel an accountability to change everything around you in your community. Which is why I always say this is only for a remnant. And I don't want you to ever be discouraged by numbers, right? We need to get our leaders, a new set of leaders. And these daily fires are really to do that, to find out where those leaders are. You know that saying in the Bible, my sheep hear my voice and another they will not follow? Well, it's almost kind of the same, I know that this was always for the remnant. From the beginning, I told you guys, this is only for the remnant. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I just want you to know that if you are continually being here, getting the information, applying the information, that is because you have a mission to do. And you need this information as a leader. And even when you speaking to people, I want you to be patient, because everybody won't receive things the way you receive it or understand it as fast as you understand it. You get what I'm saying? So be patient with people, because remember, they are laymen. We have a lot of lay people in our culture, right? That weren't developed to hear information of the king, or for the king and the queen, or for the leader. So you get this. And even when you deliver it, and people might not see it the same, because you got to give them time in their mind to develop. That's why you plant seeds with people. And then you allow that seed to grow. Because they can't get it the same way with you, because their position in the movement is not the same as yours. So you sprinkle those seeds, and somebody else will come and water that seed, and then there will be an increase after the fact. So I just want you to know how this thing breaks down. There's always been a remnant, that gets it. Go ahead, honey. Always. So I'm excited to be able to explain that to you guys. Just sprinkle those seeds and allow people to grow at their pace, right? Because there are a lot of laymen out there that get it and hear it differently. And it takes a longer time for the information to illuminate their minds. You understand? So just be careful and be patient when you're distributing the information, So whoever's coming down on the 29th, I just want to tell you, don't come down with the mind that, don't come down with the mind of eyes of judgment. You know what I'm saying? Because we have to elevate the conversation. And then the act not just the conversation. We have to elevate the act, the work, to a different level, right? And then, have you ever heard of the saying, when the righteous is blessed, the city is exalted? So what the Most High has given me, I want to continue to do the work and show, because there's power in the showing, not just the telling. All right? So we have to be willing to forgive people for some things they might have said or how they might have said it, because each one of these people are growing in their own right as well. We're all continuing to grow. You know what I'm saying? And we have to extend that love to people and help them. I said this before, the moment somebody comes on the scene and be speaking, we as black people want to find something that we can tear them down with. And so we got to begin to change that first thought process. We got to change that. Mom, I'm gonna come and get it. It's laid there because I'm doing. Change that thought process, right? And you could see it in yourself. And I'm telling you that was taught to you, indoctrinated in you. That's not who we really are. I've seen it work. I've seen my behavior change people right in front of my eyes. Law enforcement officers, right? I've seen it. I've seen my behavior change a whole room of law enforcement officers. Genuinely change them, because I'm the genuine article. When I go and have trying to sit down and have a conversation with somebody, I'm assuming they're with me until they show me something different. But I don't go in with this negative attitude, because I need to keep my mind free. You know what I'm saying? Because if you go in with all that stuff, you are not as quick as you need to be. And then some things come out your mouth that be destructive to the conversation of bringing people together. I know it because I've already done it, right? So when I'm in a conversation with somebody, I have a genuineness about the people I'm in conversation with. And even when I started, not this time, and we were bringing some chief of police, I treated them honorably, because it's a reflection of who I am and how I operate, right? And then when we had these meetings, I always would say, we don't allow no disrespect of our guests. This is not that type of meeting. And if you disrespect one of our guests, we're going to escort you out of here. Maintaining a sense of control, a sense of class, of us representing something big, that we're not just these emotional people, that we can run things, right? And we could be powerful, and we could live it in front of people, and it could be genuine. Yeah, sense of excellence. So I wanted to maintain for our community that every time I had an interview, every time I was on TV, that I was showing and showcasing the excellence of our people. Not the ignorance, not the in my feelings, that I was capable of being on the global platform, that I was a big boy, so to speak, right? So that people will respect that. And they did respect that, which allowed me to get into certain doors, because they already seen the work and seen how I behaved, and that brought change. I didn't just slip up on it. Do you know what I'm saying? I wasn't guessing my way through it. I had a strategy. I was going to live who I lived, who I was in the street, when I had to have a sense of calm and a sense of poise up under situations that could kill my life. Right? I was able to bring that with me into these situations. So I need to go back. So when we're dealing with trying to bring ourselves together, that is the same type of disposition we have to have dealing with our people. Because, some people are going to come with attitudes and prideful and whatever the situation is. You have to be equipped to understand that that's coming from someplace, of some type of negative experience that have hurt these people. But if you're not no leader, you can't even see it. If you're a layman, all you're going to see is they this, they that. I don't like them. They this, that. You feel me? You could never help anybody. I want to be in a position that I'm able to help anybody, especially our people. But I can't do that if I don't look as a leader that knows how to bring things together, right? So in this experience of conversation with the streets, it will fulfill everything that, I've hoped for it to do. It will do the job, right? Because I'm in control of myself and how to maneuver. Regardless of anybody else's disrespect or how their disposition is, that doesn't impact me. They're not strong enough to impact me. but it impacts our people. It impacts us. And when it does, there is an immediate reaction. We lose the narrative and everything goes out the window. And then we justify our emotional outbreaks. And we show that we are not equipped for the global platform. Right? You can't even be in an intelligent conversation because you're going to blow up. You know? You're going to blow up. Somebody say one thing, you're going to get out of your character and blow up. You're not ready. You're not ready. Remember I told you when I first started out this time in our first rally in March, you know, I was telling, there was a lot of us there and a lot of black young men. And I was saying, let me explain something to you guys. Where we going, the level that we going to, I need to address something. If you are the kind of person that somebody can just call you a nigga and then you lose all the victory, this is not for you. Right? I can't afford somebody call you a little name and then, you know, you get so offended, you forget about everything that we strategize for and what we have to do because we running a marathon. You know what I'm saying? And then you just lose all the victory. And then everything has to be focused on your not ability to be on the stage that we need you to be on. If that's you, you don't need to be here. That's probably why a lot of them was mad at me in the beginning, a lot of our people. But I had to tell the truth. Because I'm going to try to do something, we going to do something that's different here. And people going to see us in a different light that they've been seeing us. When they see us, they're going to have some respect. Because the way we operate. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it works. I'm just telling you guys that it works. And so I need to utilize those same things. Thank you for that 50, fam. I need to utilize those same things with bringing black unity. And you will see it. You will continue to see the work. And I will continue to see the work because we deal with an emotional people all over this country. So as Conversations with the Streets go to all these different cities, and we are every city we go to, we will have somebody that represents that city that's doing the work in that city. We'll have them be a part of the panel, right? But I understand how we are. We got to learn. A lot of us get together. It's just a lot of drama, you know? And we're going to have to learn ourselves up out of that drama. And we're going to have to start bringing some thinking to what we're doing. Some brilliance to what we're doing. You feel me? Yeah, I just need to put that out there, though, because it's going to take a lot of work. And I need you guys, as we continue to move, the ones that can be in certain places with me, that have been here on these daily fires, to be a part of that, to reflect that in some of these places that we have to go through. And that sense of pride in who we are, and that sense of character and poise in who we are, that stuff can rub off. You know what I'm saying? And so as we go in these different places, I know some of you will be able to be a part of that, to come stand with me, because I trust the information in you. So just, you know, I just got to get everybody prepared, and because you know what we're dealing when we deal with our people. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. Yeah. Let me see what's up here. This is not going to be a long daily fire because I'm feeling kind of drained today. Been doing a lot of work. I feel kind of drained today. You know, I got to get my energy back. But let me see if I can answer a couple of you guys' questions while we're here. Yes, Tony, move is one, but it takes a lot of teaching. Remember, police accountability, we did weekly educational forums, and we're going to have to do it again. Put my legs up? Yeah, I probably do, because just feel a little weak today. You know, but I had to be on here because I know I hadn't been in here for a couple of weeks. I will. Wait for this. I'm just looking at you guys talk. I'll take a couple questions, guys. Appreciate you too, Wesley. Well, I lived all over Seattle, South Side, Sunflower. Yeah, I'm okay. I just feel a little drained today. I lived in West Seattle, all over Seattle, you know. So, you know, back and forth from Seattle to LA. Lived a big portion in LA, raised in LA, and came back and forth. Yeah, yeah, I had to get on here, but yeah, this hypotension, I never had that before. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to go to the doctor and see what I can do to get my blood pressure raised because it stifles me and I don't like it. Yeah, it stifles me, but I'm all right. Yeah, wife is we hip to the black seed oil for sure. I don't understand. Unpack that, Vincent. That we came from slavery to single woman to Obama. Unpack that, Vincent. Explain that to me. What do you mean? Remember, Vincent, whatever obstacles that we have had, I always believe that we have the genius and we're big enough to overcome anything. I'm never discouraged about whatever the obstacle that we face today. Never. It doesn't even, I don't even flinch. You know, I look at everything that whatever the Most High sends me in the direction, I'm going to conquer it. That's what I'm going to do. I don't care what it looks like. When they gave me no shot at police accountability, I didn't feel that way. You know, I don't care what nobody say. You know, if God say I can have it, I'm going to get it. Period. Now, nobody's going to stop me. So whatever problems we have today in our people, I'm not moved by it nor discouraged by it. I come to make it happen. That's real. Ain't nothing going to stop me from doing what I need to do. I'm about to bring it forth and present to the Most High what He wants. That's what's about to happen. Trust me. I'm not even flinching at what they call a problem. I don't even look at the world like that. You better go listen to that Dominion again. Yeah, we giants over here, Tony. Hey, boy. Yeah, you can't have no leader that's stopping every time, looking at everything and saying this might not be work, this, that, man. You know, that leader ain't no leader. He a layman. You remember when Moses sent them spies over there to Canaan? And there was a few of them, and only two of them spies gave a good report because all those other people seen how big those giants were in Canaan, and they said we ain't nothing but what they say grasshoppers. We ain't nothing. And so they went back to Moses. Moses said, "You done killed the whole morale of the people. You done killed the whole morale of the people." And the only people that pleased him was Jacob and Caleb. Yeah. And they reached the promised land. So I'm just saying that you can't have no leader looking at things, you know, through the eyes of what the system say you got to look at things. Come on, man. Y'all don't know who I, come on, man. You know I don't think like that. It's laughable to me for anybody to tell me what we can't do. Watch. Watch. Man, please. I'm about to defeat everything before me and bring victory to my people. Come on, man. Watch me do it with all the confidence that I had. Yeah. When I tell you I don't even flinch at what people call or think is a problem, God has given me the genius to make it happen. I'm going to do it. Trust me. Yeah. Okay, guys. I'm going to go try to lay him down a little bit. I needed to come talk to you guys. But I'm kind of tired. I'm going to go lay him down a little bit. I think the game is coming on tonight. I'm going to see it. I love you guys, man. You know, keep me lifted up. I'm all right. Just need a little rest. I've been running. You know, I have to teach myself how not to overextend myself because people have so many needs and then they call me and I got to learn how to say no. And I haven't learned that. So I got to learn how to say no because I'll be overextending myself, you know, and I got to make sure I'm alive in order to keep moving forward. You feel me? I love you guys. I'll see you next week. Get your tickets to come to Seattle May 29th. I just put a video up of it on my Facebook and my Instagram. Go check that video out. But I would love to see some of you guys and hug on you and, you know, meet you in person, you know, and come out there.